What's going on, people? Gonna do another live right now, and it is going to be a review. The thing is I've been getting into it on IG, Instagram with Roma, aka Chloe, Roma's Army, whatever her damn name is. I don't even know if that's her real name, but I've been getting into beefs with her. She's avoided debates with me, challenged her to debates with the clips and the content that I've had. So, thus begins the journey of countering her MRA position, which I believe is faulty. Not even real. She's a fake MRA, and I have receipts and I can also prove this. But, anyways, going to this, I just want to present something. I'm going to do a bit of a review real quick. And she recently had a guest appearance on the Whatever podcast. She went ahead and showed a tweet to Brian Atlas or everybody else saying, I will never belong on this podcast because he's instigated a lot of these issues. He's instigated this. I won't have it. I'm just not going to be on because I don't feel respected on this podcast. So, well, personally, honestly, I think I sent Brian a message to see if I could be on the podcast. Well, then before I was even doing debates or anything like this, I'd sent a request to do this, but maybe that's changed since then. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Getting to this, let me go ahead and see if I could bring this up here. Very interesting that she had an appearance on this podcast. Didn't really go well for her. I think this would be a Roma L. There's also a description that's in here. See if I could bring this to the stage real quick.
Me?
Start this content. So anyways, there's a black woman that's on the panel here, and it says spoiled femcel. This is obviously I didn't write this down. This must have been Roma putting this here. It says spoiled femcel can't debate me. So she almost gets smacked out while podcast host eggs it on. So already this tells me something. This tells me that there's a strong emotion coming for her. She's emotional, which I don't get emotional during debates. Already she's displaying an Achilles heel by showing that, I'll smack somebody because they disagree with me. This really doesn't make sense. This sounds very familiar too, because it's like, if you can't debate, you're going to take somebody out. But it's very funny because this contradicts it. She contradicts herself by saying she can't debate me, so she almost gets smacked out. It sounds reminiscent of what happened. People couldn't debate Charlie Kirk, so what happened, right? People can't debate, so they end up getting emotional and taking it to the next extreme. I mean, this is also reflecting on Roma's competency level in debate. She's saying that this black woman can't debate her, so Roma's going to result to something else. Well, that also means that you can't debate either if you have to result. This doesn't really make any sense. I'm going to play a little bit and I'm going to kind of interrupt a little bit because this is just craziness what's going to ensue right now.
Bitter.
Me?
Oh, I said somebody. Shit. Somebody's bitter.
Me?
Oh, I said somebody.
Shit.
If you gotta label yourself as bitter, if the shoe fits, then wear it, Buki.
Okay. No, I think that you're actually just really rude, and you've come to this table with some sort of stank attitude. You're really rude with her.
You think I'm rude?
Yeah,
think I'm rude?
I don't think you're rude.
Oh, okay. I'm not trying to
What
be
about
rude. I'm just trying to have a good conversation.
No, I think you're very abrasive and disrespectful, and I'm the wrong
I'm not trying to
fucking
be
one.
Disrespectful. I respect everybody's opinions. That's all part of conversation.
I hope so, because I'm the wrong one.
You know so.
So I'm the wrong one. You're disrespectful. I'm the wrong one. Not once has she uttered an argument this whole time. Not once has she countered anything that this woman said at all. Not a counter, not any refutation to what she said. Nothing, not even an argument. You see, this is just emotion on both sides at this point, mainly on Roma's side. I'm not the one. That's the only thing. You're just going to repeat this ad nauseum the whole time right now. I'm not the one. That's it. This is the person that avoided debates with me. Like, we're literally witnessing her competency level in a debate right now. This is what she would have. This is the best she has to offer.
I think I got
Chloe, are you going to let her call you Pookie?
So even the host had to come in and help her out because she can't defend herself. I'm not the one refusing to make eye contact. She's looking away. Meanwhile, the black woman is looking at her, looking straight toward the street, confident. While Roma is trying to maintain her emotion, she's easily manipulated here. Emotionally manipulated by this black woman. The whole time being manipulated. Yeah, she's not a debater. Roma is not a debater at all. I've not once seen her do a debate. You know, I've done plenty of debates this whole year, stomped a lot of people. Roman hasn't stomped anybody in a debate. What she does is she produces content and then hides behind a tree. Literally what we are doing is throwing a stone and hiding behind a tree. That's what Roma does. She's good at it. She does this. She produces content. Anybody could do this. But a debate is a whole lot different. This is one-on-one verbal combat. Look at her in this photo right now, looking away, disengaging. Yeah, she's not a combatant at all. She's not fit for this. This is not her lane.
And get away with it?
I didn't even hear that.
She called you Pookie.
Yeah, and she's deflecting. Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, what? Very passive. Very passive. She's extremely... Yeah, this is not your warrior. This is not the fighter. She has an army, like what, of toy soldiers? This is all, like, this is it?
I always say I don't hear something when I don't want to address it or when I'm too scared to.
Look, if you think that I'm like intimidated by you or that anybody is intimidated by you, actually just let me speak.
I don't think anybody's intimidated by me.
Are you going to let me speak?
Let Chloe speak.
Okay. I just got to like maintain my...
So she couldn't control the room. So the host had to come in and help her out. So just think if Brian wasn't there, she would have gotten mollywopped by this person. Like probably dog walked. I'm just assuming. Or it would have just been equal. But Roma does not have any control over this situation at all. She doesn't actually, she has no presence in the room. I mean, not that much. It's either equal or lesser than. And this is just me through seeing observation right now. And if you could see through the screen right now, she's looking away. She's disengaging. Once again, she'll look, but then she'll look away and disengage. Once again, she's not a debater.
My composure.
Yeah, it's nothing personal, baby.
You're pissing me off.
Here it goes. The chink in her armor. I have to look away because I have to try to maintain my composure. If this black woman is doing not even a fraction of what I would do to her in a debate, and she's pissed off, meaning she's easily manipulated and controlled by another person, this would be a bloodbath in a debate. She would get destroyed. Heavily destroyed. This wouldn't even be... Yeah, this would be the equivalent of me playing Pop Warner with 4-year-olds on a field, just running down the line with a football, just running, knocking them over like bowling. This wouldn't even be a fair fight. This is ridiculous. Like, somebody that easily manipulated and emotional during any kind of debate that's happening right now, she's not built for this. This is not, Roma, this is not your lane. This is not what you do. What you do is create content, throw a rock and hide behind a building, a tree, something else, and you wait for a response. That's good when we're both doing this, but in an actual debate, this is what you would like. This is your best. Romo's army, if you're out there, this is your general. This is your head of your army. This is the person that would be easily manipulated by somebody who's not even a debater on a panel. Easily controlled. She's got strings on her. Somebody's controlling her very easily, manipulating her emotionally. This is it. Craziness.
No, I just
if I'm pissing really you off, then I'm controlling you because I'm controlling.
What did I just... I've only seen this video once. I called this again, and I forgot that she even said this. What did I just say? Roma's easily manipulated, easily controlled. Roma is not a fighter. She's not a debater at all. She can't handle herself in a debate. As we're seeing right now, she's getting mollywopped by this black woman who doesn't do debates.
Controlling your emotions.
I'm not intimidated by anybody. You're not going to intimidate me.
I didn't say you were.
She's not intimidated by anybody, but she's easily controlled and easily emotional, which means that she's got strings on her by anybody else. She's up for grabs to control. This is your champion here. What's up, pumpkin heads? This is you guys' champion right here. Your Roma army general right here.
Relax. Pipe down. Relax.
I think you need to relax.
Right. Oh, geez, it's getting hot in here.
Well, I just think what you're doing is like there's a word reactive. It's not abuse, but it's like reactive.
Yeah, fumbling over her words. Doesn't know what word she wants to use. This is your general of your Roma army. This is it. This is what we have. Hey, Pumpkinheads, I don't even think she's a men's rights advocate at all. My whole claim is she's a fake men's rights advocate. This is a woman who has a Patreon and she's had lingerie advocating for men. I had a whole video on this exposing a lot of what she does. I think she's a grifter. I don't think she's genuine. I think that she's chased clout for years. And she started off as a Nala Ray before anything else. And I think that's how she got her start. I think she's disingenuous. But she refuses to do any debates, but goes into a debate and gets wrecked by this woman. Gets emotionally. For sure. You know, I think that men's rights advocates are great if they are men. If you have a woman that's a men's rights advocate, I'm very suspicious of you. It's hard for me to trust you as a men's rights advocate. You're right. I don't trust people as men's rights advocates. You have to pass like at least a grace period or at least a long period of time before any scandals show up, anything else, because I mean, I got to make sure that you're the genuine real deal. Time reveals everything. Time is a true polygraph test. You know, you can only be fake for so long before the mask comes off. Unfortunately for her, she's got sex content out. She's got nude photos out that are still being shared. She still currently has a Patreon out right now that she asked men to pay a membership of $70 a month, which you need to show your government ID to, which I don't recommend that anybody should send their government ID to anybody else, especially somebody that lives out of the country in Canada. You're going to give your government ID to somebody outside the country? I think you're an idiot if you pay $70 for somebody's now OnlyFans Patreon right now. This is crazy. This is a men's rights advocate? Ridiculous.
You're right.
There's a term
she
for
has
it.
been very
You're
abusive
poking.
I feel
and
abused.
Then the moment that somebody reacts to
therapy.
you,
I'm not
like,
Which she has reacted the whole time. Got him. Reacted the whole time. She said, you're poking. And then somebody has to react. Yes, you're doing exactly what she wants you to do. If she wanted you to do it, she could tell you how high she wants you to jump, and you jump how high she wants you to jump. Like, this is crazy. You're manipulating. You're Pinocchio right now, on strings, doing this right now. She's literally making you dance on the microphone right now, while you think you're one-upping her with your smile right now. Like, this is not a debate. Anything. They're not even a fraction of a debate champion at all. This is a major L. You're getting mollywopped on the whatever podcast by somebody who's not even a debate. We're not even halfway through this clip. This is crazy.
trying to poke the bear. I'm just trying to have a conversation. Isn't that what podcasts are for?
You have been, I feel abused.
You think so?
I'm a victim.
Chloe, thank you
You
for
wouldn't
sticking
have
up
me
for
back
me.
here if you didn't like it.
I guess it's relative, but I just aim to continue to look better and to be healthier. And with that being said, yeah.
So if you notice, Roma lost total control of the conversation. Somebody else picked it up from there and carried it. Yeah, this is not a warrior, not a soldier, not an army at all. Like her moniker, Roma's army. This isn't an army. This isn't anything. This is like a paper tiger at best. This is crazy.
Wait, what is going on?
What?
You're giving Chloe the stink eye.
Oh, I'm just looking at her.
Trying to be intimidating, but she's not intimidating anybody.
She's not intimidating anybody, yet Chloe Roma can't even make eye contact right now. When people get intimidated, they tend to look away because they can't look somebody in the eye. Yeah. Can you say controlled? Manipulated? Yeah, she's dancing for the black girl right now on the microphone. And yeah, this is manipulation 101. And Chloe is like easily triggered, easily emotional, easily manipulated. Yeah, she doesn't even have control of her faculties as well as she thinks she does.
You've been for
I look at everybody. I've been looking at everybody.
For 10 seconds, Chloe, she's just been...
Still can't even have eye contact at all, looking away, deflecting. That's fear or shame or nerves.
Dirt staring.
Are you trying to what? Are you trying to fight me or like what?
Why would I try to fight you?
Notice how when people can't debate, they go to physicality. You're trying to fight me. You're trying to do this. We just had Charlie Kirk have a debate, and because people couldn't debate, what did they have to do? They went to physicality. They went to bullets and other stuff. When people do not know how to debate, they go to the lowest rung possible. The lowest common denominator. They go to that because they can't debate. Chloe can't debate. She's not a debater at all. She's not a fighter. She's not the leader of any army at all. Right now, she's going to, oh, you want to fight? Well, because you don't have the logical capability of fighting. You don't have the wherewithal to fight. You can't debate at all. You can't even have put together a logical argument or anything. There's nothing going on upstairs, so I have to resort to physicality. This isn't her lane. She literally said, I will not show up to the whatever podcast because they were mean to me. This is your army?
I don't know, because where I'm from, when you stare at somebody intensively, it means you want to fight them.
If you're from the ghetto.
So Chloe has said that I've changed. I've done a lot. I'm not the person I used to be. Well, where I'm from, this is what that's change? You're a new person? You've changed? How? When you could easily be manipulated by this black girl on the panel and revert to the person who you said you weren't anymore. This is your men's rights advocate over here? This is a leader of men? Yeah, this is why I don't trust female men's rights advocates at all.
Ain't me. I'm not around
here.
Michigan. Canadians get
In
down
Canada,
like that?
Yeah, you don't look. You look the wrong way to Canadian. They'll
still can't even make eye contact. Brian's having to speak up for her right now because she can't do it herself.
Sorry, babe. I grew up in the suburbs.
Take
I
a
will
moose
press charges.
horn and
I don't
smack.
fight.
Okay.
I'm not messing up my face.
All right, well then stop staring at me then, because that's how I'm taking it.
Yeah, Chloe, just nervous giggles, nerves, lack of competency here. Yeah, definitely not. This is the person that wanted to throw shots at me. Just imagine me in a room with Chloe. It would be a bloodbath. This would be a bloodbath. This is what I would have, this kind of behavior right here. You would get stomped, Chloe. Roma, you would get disintegrated at a debate panel with me. You wouldn't even, I don't even know if you'd last 10 minutes. Yeah, this is the emotional wreck that I'd have to deal with in a debate.
So whether that's how you're meaning it, I don't know. But
Maybe she thinks you're cute.
You go. What? Put your hands on me. You go get provoked or something?
Are you bisexual?
No.
Okay.
No.
So she's on the back. She's on the back foot the whole time. Chloe's on the defense. She's not on offense. In a debate, this is where you don't want to be all the time. Chloe's been on defense since day one, not on offense during this whole thing. She's like this damn near on every panel she's been on. Just imagine if she got in a debate, which she wouldn't want to. It's wise that she's avoided debates with me.
That's good.
I'm just telling you to stay in your lane.
Do you like women?
Stay in your lane. Yet she's deflected the whole time. avoids eye contact for the most part, deflects, lets everybody else take control of the conversation. Brian has to stick up for her because she can't stick up for herself. And look, the black girl is literally wilding out in front of her, having a ball, while Chloe's just in a corner, boxed in by herself. Can't even fight back or do anything like that. Just evading, very evasive, very emotional, very manipulated by the other person. Chloe's not in control of her faculties right now.
Are you attracted to women?
I like beautiful women.
Okay, maybe Chloe. Maybe it's a compliment.
Not my type.
Oh,
Not making eye contact, looking off in the distance, can't engage. This is your warrior.
Somebody's.
So that was the content. Chloe can't engage at all. She brought no substance to whatever. Nothing. She showed up just to get destroyed by this one woman on this panel. This is ridiculous. And then she brought some facts and some stats to this panel. I understand you can bring facts and stats, but if you can't back it up when you get pushback, this is crazy. The black girl was confident the whole time, wilding out, doing this, doing the dance moves, like that's crazy. Chloe over there just looking off, really closed in, just looking like this. Just like, oh, this is your men's rights advocate right here? This is wild to me. I honestly don't understand this. Chloe wanted to go to war with me. Her fiance was issuing threats, and she said, well, he put you in your place. Yeah, because I had my comment section full of just ad homs from her people the whole time. Yet none of them can fight. None of them can debate. I've literally challenged it. There's one that stood up and said, name a time and a place. 2 have backed out, from Sarah the Raging Tomato commenting and saying, we're going to start this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. She's literally grifting off of people the whole time. She has a Patreon where she has lingerie. She's had, a matter of fact, I could put up the video, but it'd probably break TOS if I put it up here right now. She's got an army of simps, an army of men, probably from single mom households, that follow her. I think it's an inversion when your leader is a woman. This is what we have. That's it. Chloe is not a leader of any army at all. She's a leader of just feminized men. That's it. To be honest, because here's the thing. I'm not calling every man that she's leading feminized, but guess what's going to happen in the outcomes? We see the statistics when there's a single mom household, 68% more likely to go to prison, more likely to be incarcerated, recidivism increases, probably a higher chance of doing sex work, all this from single mom households. This is a woman leading an army, Chloe's army, whatever it is. How is this any different from a woman running a household, from a woman leading a movement? To me, this doesn't really make any sense. And statistically, if you look into everything else from women leading countries or anything else from a society, they're 28% more likely to go to war than men are. We see this. Yeah, Pumpkinhead, more likely to become serial killers from single mom households as well, too. Yeah, me and Dadvocate, I'm glad you brought that up. Me and Dadvocate actually got into a debate. Yeah, not a debate, but we got into an argument. She wanted to come at the king too, wanted to come at the crown. I'm not calling myself a king, but I'm just saying, just like you want to come for somebody as a king. The Dadvocate and me got into it because the Dadvocate wanted to defend Chloe. And then she said, well, no, I'm not an MRA. I'm just a father's rights advocate. Okay, well, then I don't have beef with you. Well, why are you defending this fake MRA? This doesn't really make any sense. And yeah, she is a hypocrite. She uses men for the bag. Like I said, she's got an army of simps. That's it. That's all it amounts to, is an army of simps. It's just crazy. These women that are leading men that are MRAs, I really don't trust them at all. Rachel Wilson is more of an MRA than anything else, and she doesn't even call herself a men's rights advocate. By the way, extremely based woman, by the way. Married, to one of the most base men ever. But think about it. She's a wife. She's got kids with Andrew Wilson as well, too. You know, there's a lot of people that give her flack for this, for saying she's got kids by other men, all this other stuff. But they have an intact family that's more successful than any other marriage that I see in society right now. Chloe, it's like me and her got into it because she's got all these tats. I said, well, that's not my preference. And now she wants to shoot back at me. Well, if you look statistically, I mean, even psychological studies, women with a lot of tats, that's closely correlated with mental illness. You can go look this up on Google. We can go look this up together. I mean, all this stuff is just crazy. I don't put it past her to just have ad hominem attacks because that's all she's had. Not once has she had a qualified argument for me. She doesn't have an argument at all. There is no argument she has for me. No argument at all. Matter of fact, one of the biggest red flags that I see for women is the septum piercing and throat tats. That's a massive red flag. But by the way, also like blue hair is a massive red flag as well too. Like we see this. This is just crazy. But I just wanted to do a quick live on this whatever appearance review and do an appearance review on Roma's Army. She's incompetent at debate. That's all I wanted to show. Of course, we all know that she's not a debate champion or a debater at all. She doesn't do this. This is not her lane. This is not something she wants to do. Obviously, she's not good at this. She's not proficient or competent at this at all. One thing that I'll say is a tramp stamp is another one. That's like a classic red flag. So there's a tramp stamp. There's people that support pride flags. That's a red flag for me too. People that support these transformer movements. That's a red flag. Blue hair is another red flag. Septum piercing, big throat tats. That's a red flag. I think that women that sleep around, that's a massive red flag. People say that body count is not important and doesn't mean anything. But here's the thing that I'll tell you before I leave. I'll posit this to you. A woman that sleeps around with 100 men isn't liked enough to be kept by any of these men. But a woman that sleeps with one man 100 times is loved enough to be kept and saved by one man. Just think about that. That's why body count is extremely important. Because women can sleep around all, with 100 men, but none of these men want to keep this woman. That says a lot. That's why I don't think that's a point anybody ever really discusses on why it's extremely important. Not barring the fact that we don't know if the baby's going to be ours before birth, control came out. So a massive red flag. Massive red flags. To me, I think that a woman having kids before you get to her can be a red flag. But I'll tell you the two things that I'll tell you that it doesn't make her a red flag. I'll tell you this because I have to give women with kids a pass. There are only two circumstances where I'll give women an absolute pass for this. Is if she was abandoned because the guy left and she's been faithful to this guy and he just abandoned her. I can't say that she's a bad woman for that. I'll give her a pass for this. There's a second thing that I'll give her a pass for is if she's a widow and the guy died. Anything outside of this spectrum, I'm not giving much of a pass for women. Meaning that if she's just left because the sky was too blue for her or he breathed the wrong way and she left, I'm not giving too much of a pass for women this. Body count matters a whole lot too because you're exposed to everything else. And that's the thing though, Pumpkin, you're right about this. STDs, HIV, all these other, your exposure is a lot to deal with. These streets are horrid out here. To be honest, I've been celibate for a long ass time. And it's not just because because I can't get sex. It's not because I'm an. Here's the thing too, that women demonize men for. It's very funny. If you're a guy that sleeps around, some women don't like you because her friend slept with you and everybody else there, because this populace of women does exist. Even though if you can get women, you want a guy that can cheat but won't cheat. We can agree on this. But I'm against men sleeping around even, right? So I can demonize this. The other side of the coin is if you don't sleep around at all, you're called an incel. So it's like with women, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. They're very conditional with things that they agree with, they talk about. Very conditional. Yeah, abuse is something I'll give a pass to, but also I put that in the first category of women that were abandoned, because I think that you abandon a woman the moment you start beating on a woman. If you start abusing a woman, to me, that's a form of abandonment, because you've abandoned her love. You've abandoned your love for her. You've taken all that away, and now all of a sudden she's a pinata. That's bad. Yeah, for sure. So I think that, yeah, my mom was abused too by my stepdad growing up. So that's bad. I'll give these women passes in these two categories because I consider abuse abandonment. Because, I mean, you've literally abandoned her or forced her out of the home through abuse, or if she's a widow. So I don't think that we should demonize men for being with women who are abandoned or widows. We'll do this blanket thing across the board with red pill movement and say, no, I don't want to date a woman that's a single mom with kids. We'll just demonize all of them. No, hold on. There's exceptions to the rule. You know, if she was abandoned, which abuse is, I think, in the same cat, we'll just throw in the same umbrella. Or if she's a widow, you know, if a woman's a widow, I don't think we should demonize these women at all. But anyways, I wanted to do a review. It's very short. I haven't done many of these. Appreciate all you guys for your support in this channel. It was the Roma whatever appearance review. I wanted to do that. Yeah, she's not a debater. She wants to go to war against me, and she gets stomped in a debate. I turn her into mincemeat. It would be an utter bloodbath if she wanted to do this. But anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and do a quick live real quick and test it out. I'm slowly but surely going to come into my own when it comes to doing this. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and put up this thing for Pumpkinheads. Yeah, I totally understand. I'll say one thing. Gosh, I keep getting roped into these conversations because you bring up really good points. You know, a lot of women do have to leave because I think that's a form of abandonment. One thing I will say with an experience I've had is I had a relationship where a woman was bored. If there's one thing that you don't want to do with most modern women in relationships is have them be bored. I'm not saying this is every woman, but this is mostly society. We can agree on this because I think when women become bored as a majority in modern society, because we all have tablets that raise us as kids, parents go, they're like, here, take the tablet. Now we're, being induced ADHD. I think that induces a lot of ADHD. So now when women grow up, guys have this too, but when women grow up, they're bored because there's nothing happening. There's no drama. So now we must create chaos. I think I was in a relationship with one of these women, and this woman, we'll call her Kelly, by the way. She knew that it was just too peaceful in this relationship. So guess what? She had to create some drama. She got to the point to where she was just punching my chest and I had to restrain her and hold her. And she literally told me this. She said, what are you going to do? You're a black man. All I have to do is call the police. I'm white and you're black. One of the craziest situations I've ever been in my life. What do I do? I love white women, by the way. I can't lie. But anyways, yeah, that's a lot of probably TMI right now. I just let up. But anyways, we're all in situations, and I think that we have to really vet the people that we are in relationships with thoroughly. We have to vet people, men and women. We have to vet people thoroughly. A lot of people, they'll just jump in the sack with somebody real quick and not knowing how that person would be in 3 months, how this person will be in 2 months. They let their hormones drive their attraction. Next thing you know, they're like, I didn't know that John would be like this. I didn't know that that's who he was. Yeah, that's because when people get sex and everything they want, the mask can now come off now. But try to see if that mask stays on in month 3 or month 4. Try to at least go through different layers of getting to know somebody first. Vet this person. A job applicant has to go through a history, referrals, and a job has to do vetting. They don't just hire people right away. And I guarantee you jobs that just do hire people right away. And yes, I am comparing women and men to jobs. That's a whole job that you're having somebody apply for in a relationship. Being a husband is a job. Being a wife is a job. It's a duty. These are duties. Those are jobs. And I mean, what's a performance review? You haven't cleaned the kitchen. You've left it filled. That you're getting a performance review in a relationship. How is this not the same thing? So this is what I'm saying. I think that we should review people, vet them. That's what courting is supposed to be. It's a vetting process. People don't court anymore. They just sleep with they just bang people. Nobody wants a marriage. And I totally get it. The system's kind of flawed to some degree. But that's because nobody vets people anymore. They just jump into marriages, not knowing who this person really is. They jump into bed with somebody and matter of fact, here's another thing that I'm going to, like you said, I'm spitting facts. I'll tell you one thing. There's one thing I think that men shouldn't do. And I'm going to come down on men too. And I blame women wholeheartedly for this. I think that if you're a man, I don't care how close you are to your woman. And yes, I'm going to be very blanket statement right now. I don't care how close you are to your woman. And if that's not your daughter, you should not be bathing or changing a girl if she's 3 or 4 years old and she's not your kid. I don't care how close you are, how much trust you have. I don't care who, like, women, do not let these men bathe and change your daughters at 3 and 4 and 2 years old. I don't care how much you trust a man. And this is on women and men because women are too trusting, too in love and say, oh, this is a family. I have complete trust in you. And men, I don't care because false accusations can come up no matter what. I don't care how much you trust a woman. Don't ever trust a woman so much that you can bathe and change a 2-3-year-old daughter. This is crazy. Like, I don't know how many times this is insane. This needs to be a conversation. Matter of fact, I'm having it right now. Vet your boyfriend, vet your girlfriend. They put him through a vetting process. You have to vet these people. Hard to find somebody. So Pumpkinhead says, hard to find somebody good out there these days. Feminists, simp, liberals have made things nearly impossible. I'm trying to take care of my mom, but my sister's making it work. Oh man, you got this is crazy. A good example of this is, remember when we had Cinderella? What did her sisters do? They didn't make it easier for her because they all wanted the prince too. I mean, we could say they're C blocking, but this is just, crazy stuff, right? Is this crazy? Women will be in other women's way the whole time. We literally have fairy tales where the sisters were in Snow White's, well, not Snow White's way. Yeah, it was Snow White. They were literally in, well, hold on, I'm kind of mixing stories. I think in all these stories, sisters have always been in the way. Just bad stuff. It's just like, I mean, women are their own worst enemy to some degree. I mean, just be really cognizant of that. I know a lot of women that don't have women friends, and this is very common because women don't trust each other. Because women will then lie to each other and say, girl, you look good in that. You're going to find that queen, that Prince Charming, that king, and never say that she looks too big in that dress because they don't want to hurt her feelings, but they're never going to be honest. But as soon as she leaves the room, oh, that fat bitch thinks she looks good. Like, it's just crazy. I don't know. Like, we could see this in movies. It's in fairy tales. We see this. It's obvious. These fairy tales are dark for a reason, but Disney said put a light to them and made it just really delusional to some degree and took all the darkness out of it. We should have kept the reality in these fairy tales. That's why I think it's really good to be blatantly honest with people that you're with. This is back to my vetting process. Be very honest. When I'm on a date with somebody, but you got to be very honest. I'll tell people on the first date, I'm an Orthodox Christian. This is my faith. If you're not an Orthodox Christian, this may not work out, because one person has to convert the other. Like, think about it. If I'm dating a feminist and I'm a men's rights advocate, one person is going to convert the other person no matter what. I was engaged at the beginning of this year. And you're not going to know that a woman is a feminist because if she was extremely attracted to me, and I could tell, right? I'm not going to say I read minds or any of this stuff, but I know, like, we ultimately know if a woman's really attracted to you. She wants to sleep with you or get you in bed, right? But she was so attracted to me, but you can't fall into this trap. Don't sleep with a woman because she's sexy and she's attracted to you. That's a thing, because that's going to mess up your judgment. In women, the same thing goes for you too. Don't just lay in bed with somebody because you're attracted. That's going to cloud your judgment. It is, because you're going to miss things that are going to stand out to you because, well, the sex is good. I'm going to overlook this red flag that's I would have normally seen had I not slept with this person. Like, these are things that we need to really be cognizant of. And I would have overlooked any of this stuff. But because she was frustrated because she wasn't getting sex, I now got to see the other layer, because now she had to learn this is the personality you're going to be stuck with. These are the other things you're going to have to deal with. I'm a tidy, clean person. Oh, you're not tidy and clean. I would have never caught these things had we slept together. But if you sleep with somebody and you're in a relationship and you just automatically jump in bed and you don't vet this person, you're not going to notice all these little intricacies about this person. Hence, I found that this person was a feminist. They were a blatant feminist. They didn't want to convert. Ended up being abuse to this person. That's what it ended up being. Matter of fact, Andrew Wilson, believe it or not, was going to be the best man at my wedding. And he had agreed to it. He said, yeah, I'll be the best man. He's one of my good friends, by the way. But I told him, hey, it's not going to work. Found out she's a feminist. She didn't want to convert to my former Christianity. She wanted her Protestant feminism. And he said, yeah, that sucks, man. I said, yeah, man, I guess you're not going to be the best man at my wedding. Whatever. But just think about it. I would have been married to somebody who would have just wrecked my life. Well, I would have wrecked their life because I wouldn't have been the man that they would have wanted. Because maybe they wanted to rule over the relationship. Maybe they wanted to run things and be the boss babe of the relationship. Also, she was a nurse, by the way, too. So statistically, I could talk about that for days. But anyways, yeah, it's just bad. You know, it's just bad stuff. I think that modern women these days, I don't think a lot of you all get along with each other. I honestly don't think you get along with each other. Most of you women are in your own ways. You're either fighting for the same man or talking shit behind each other's back and everything. Like, this is bad. I don't see, here's one thing I don't see with women in their communities. I don't see a community where that's blatantly obvious of women roasting each other just for fun. Guys do this all the time, but women, I notice that they don't roast each other to bond. Like, it's almost like division that's happening nowadays in modern communities. You're competing, very competitive. If it's not for the same man, it's because of clout, chasing this. Like, it's just different. Yeah, obviously men and women are different. We belong together though, but we're at each other's throats most of the time. A lot of this divisiveness we could just have thrown in the trash. It's just a lot of common sense. But I mean, I don't think that a lot of the men that are being raised right now are men that you want. Because a lot of men that are being raised by single women and they're becoming overtly feminine, too emotional because a woman raised them. There's no man present. We can turn around and blame men for this, but I know so many men that were driven from homes were run out of the home by women. So I'm not pointing fingers at one or the other, because there are also bad men. We can recognize that, but both sides are bad. I can see this, but just understand that women are saying, well, no, I'm strong, I'm empowered, but a lot of women are raising these men that you have to date that are now more emotional because a woman raised them. They don't have this control. And now all of a sudden, this is the dating market that we're producing right now. These men coming from these single parent households. It's just bad. And I see these men really sensitive, too emotional, can't control their inhibitions, fall prey to lust, their desires. They're just a slave to their own desires and passions. They think with their dick. They don't think with this. Their cognitive functions, their faculties. They don't think with any of this stuff. These aren't men that you want to date. These are literally animals, falling prey to every whim. It's just bad. Yeah, we do need a mother and a father. It takes two to raise, but it's nowadays we're not seeing it now, and that's what's destroying the dating market. We're getting a lot of men that are coming from single parent households, which are women. So now you have a lot of feminized. Now, you ever notice? I feel like I don't want to go on too much of a tangent too long because I wanted to just do a quick stream. You ever notice that when the single mom epidemic started booming, skinny jeans became a thing? Sagging pants became a thing. Guys wearing eyeliner became a thing. More so, like these feminine culture traits, and I would say not only traits, but mannerisms, behaviors that we see became a thing now. Now that we have more women raising men, more than ever nowadays, we have more feminine men than ever. Like, that's bad. This is the dating market that we're producing now as a society. It's all bad. I think women need men and men need women. We both need each other. But anyways, that's my time. I appreciate all four of you. My channel's very small. I know I'm a talker. I can ramble. I'm full of some insight. You know, I have some knowledge here. But I will try to probably do some commentary on podcasts in the future. And not to mention this, but hopefully there is going to be a debate. I'm going to tell you guys there's a debate right now. It's going to be between me and one of Roma's sycophants that she sicked on me. And she says, well, I didn't sick anybody on you. It's just they come for you. Yeah, it's cool. I'm just going to knock you guys down because you're a fake MRA. And I don't really like women that are leading men. And I don't like men that can say they're leading women. Not to say that they're a leader of a women's movement, because that would sound very weird, right? If you had a man saying, I'm a leader of women and I lead a women's movement, it would sound really weird. It would sound just as weird as a man that, as buff, strong men that run a daycare. You would think that's really weird. I don't know if I want to drop my kids off there, but just think about how weird that sounds when we have Roma's army leading men. She leads a men's rights activist group. Yeah, that's weird. And instinctively, I'm not going to trust that. Yeah, it's just really bad. This is really, really bad. I don't. My channel kind of went on the fritz a little bit there, but I think that good, strong women should be leading women. This is why we need men and women in the households. I think that, you know, if I had, like, let's say that a man had a daughter, he needs to be present for his daughter, because in a way he does lead, because his daughter is going to be looking for her father in men that she dates. And I think vice versa. I think a mother's son is going to look for his mother in women he dates. But I think that when the father and mother are at home, that's why when you have women, they're going to run through Pookie and Ray Ray, because they don't know what a good man is like. They don't know what this good father would be like. So it's like, I think men, we need to set precedents in the home. I think that if we're not in the home, guess what's going to happen? We don't have the framework for a woman to kind of like look after herself in what she wants to find in a man. She doesn't have that reference point. That frame of reference is gone. We need that. So now we have just nothing but feminized men out there from single mom households. It's all bad. That's also, but the dating market, this is a very comprehensive discussion we could have here. But as far as the dating market, I think it's way more contextual than this. There's so much nuance and context, but that's just simple framework to me. Simple framework. We need men and women together, but this whole red pill community is fractioned. You have Rollo Tomasi with the descriptors, and then we have prescriptions of men telling you, no, you don't want to date a hoe because this is what hoes look like. Well, what does a hoe look like? As you're sleeping around with different women. You can't be creating hoes and then complaining about hoes at the same time. You see how contradictory this is? This is the dating market that we're dealing with right now, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. This makes zero sense at all. Like, we literally have men and women walking around as walking contradictions, but they want to be people that tell you what to do, which doesn't make any sense at all. But anyways, that's my time. I look forward to doing a few debates. I have a debate with Rob North coming up on the 3rd next month against 2 lunatic losers. We plan on destroying them. The debate prompt is George Floyd worse for society than Destiny? I'm on the side saying that Destiny's way worse for society than George Floyd. I have an episode that I may be showing up on in Jubilee, and it's the outnumbered episode. So I may be flying out to do a debate there with Jubilee. And also I have a debate with one of Roma's, one of her followers. Anyways, all 3 of these events are going to be bloodbaths by yours truly. So thank you for your support. I'm out. You guys have a good evening. I'll try to be more, I would say, consistent about these streams. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I keep getting roped in. Last time, okay, so the Knight and the Bishop. The thing that started the beef with Roma, just to gloss over this real quick, was I believe she's a fake men's rights advocate, because I started looking at her content, and next thing you know, I found out that she had nude photos out here. Next thing you know, I found out she had a Patreon. That's still up, by the way, that she charges $70 for, by the way, that she has commercials and advertising for, where she's in lingerie with her tits out, not showing tits, but the cleavage out. This is a men's rights advocate. So to me, I see this and I'm going to become combative really quick, because you can't speak for us as a men's rights advocate and have your cleavage out, lingerie, and then be pilfering men for money, chasing the bag. All you've done was create an army of simps. Your Patreon $70 a month as you're showing cleavage, and you're going on podcasts saying, hey, I'm against women. This is what we don't need or whatever. And while you're having clips saying, I don't know if I could say this on stream, but when you pleasure yourself problem, and I'm okay with that. I also have a corn problem, a pornography problem, but I don't plan on fixing this, and that's okay. This is a men's rights advocate. So in a sense, that's what started the beef, because when I started seeing her content, which was actually kind of entertaining at first, the more I started diving deep into these layers, the more started becoming revealed to me that this is just a grifter that we see. She's just a grifter. You know, yeah, YouTube censorship is extremely lame. It's just stupid. We're talking retarded now. It's gotten to the point to where now I have to talk about Fruit of the Loom, grapes, and everything else, and corn, and like basically I'm talking about food when just to say other things. It's very stupid. I just hate the policing that we're doing right now. It's just crazy. When me as a Christian, we have blasphemy laws that they would say that, well, we don't want Christians to rule society because you'd have blasphemy laws against God. Well, hold on. You guys have the same thing, because I have to be on YouTube and say grape and corn. And what am I talking about? Like a Thanksgiving dinner? Just to describe a horrific incident that happened and things that I don't want for society? This is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, if I talk about a certain country that is an ally, my channel would be demonetized and taken down. Like, that's blasphemy laws. But you don't want Christians to rule? That's a whole nother conversation. But back to this. That's the whole thing with Roma's army, and this is the reason why I have beef with her. I did throw in a personal, it's not even a personal attack, but saying that she has all these tattoos with the throat tats and everything else. I called it a red flag. It literally is to me, because if you look in Google online, in any psychological study, there's 4 of them that I could pull up. It says it's closely correlated with mental illness when women have all these tats. Also, I've stated it's not my preference, as she's attacked me for being a roid head and everything else. It's like, that's the only thing is you have is ad homs, but you can't have a debate with me anyways. But yeah, that's what, just to summarize that's the beef with me and Roma. I just wanted to have a whatever Roma appearance review, and she's literally a trash debater. She's easily manipulated, emotional, can't debate worth crap, trash, just bad. And this isn't an ad hominem attack. I literally just did a performance review of her debate on the Whatever podcast as she got owned by a black woman on the podcast. Extremely emotional, extremely controlled, went to saying, well, do you want to fight during a debate? This is her being a debate. She wouldn't last 10 minutes in a debate with me. I would dismantle and destroy the shit out of this woman. Part of my friend. Who cares about my French? I love French. Bagels, the food, it's all the women are gorgeous. Anyways, yeah, fake men's rights advocate. That's my whole premise, is that that's what she is. I don't believe that she's honest in her intentions. I think she's a grifter, purely a grifter. Now, she would sell me on, I lead women, I'm a women's rights advocate. Yeah, that makes sense because you have a Patreon, you have lingerie on, you're charging men 70. Yeah, women's rights advocate because you're taking money. OF girls say that they're for women's rights. It's the same. How are you any different from them? What's the difference? How are you not grifting men? This doesn't make sense. Yeah, and Rachel, I don't think Rachel Wilson likes her at all either. I don't have Andrew's take on her, but yeah, wouldn't last 10 minutes in a debate with them either. But I think I have a debate coming up on the 26th, maybe on the 26th or 30th with one of her followers. I've already had a debate with two of them coming up, but they backed out of the Raging Tomato. It's like these people want to debate, but then when the debate headline comes up, they back out of debates with me. They don't want to debate with me. And the debate topic is Roma's a fake grifter. Just like Andrew had his current debate with the woman who's a comedian saying that he's a grifter. No, I have receipts. I have receipts that she's a grifter. There's no way that you're not a grifter talking about saying you have a masturbation problem to your whole following and not offering a solution. How is this not sexualizing your content to male viewers, to your male audience, and then telling them, I'm going to charge you $70 for Patreon. Oh, and because I live in Canada, I need you to send in your government ID picture, which you're an idiot if you're sending your government ID picture to somebody outside the country. This is literally, I have a video that I produced of her on her site requesting that you send a government ID. This is like, you literally have to be a blaring idiot to send in your government ID, your documentation. Like, somebody out there who would be a prime hacker could bury you with this information. Let alone you're sending $70 to a woman's Patreon. This is nuts. You're definitely a grifter. Yeah, simps, they definitely can't debate. I mean, I think that they could probably debate out of desperation in a corner anybody could fight, but pretty much that's going to be a session of just ad homs and emotion, shouting. It's going to be a decibel debate. That's what it's going to turn into. That's it. Yeah, it's by all means. I strongly believe that it's a scam for sure. So, yeah, Pumpkinhead, you're right about that. So, anyways, I'm out. Nobody's roping me in for any other conversations. I appreciate all your support to the 5 people that tuned into this quick podcast. I just wanted to do a quick review, and that's it. I'll see you guys shortly. I'll try to be more consistent about these things. Hopefully it was at least not boring, because I know Radical Coder's 10 times more boring than I am. He's like in the negatives, maybe. I don't know. That guy gets destroyed regularly. I honestly believe he's like a walking pinata to any panel he shows up on. You can tell him I said that. I'll tell him that. Anyways, you guys take care. I'm out.